Hi, it's Jeff here at macromonster.com. I just wanted to show you a bit about a macro that we have that allows you to create patterns of various shapes. Probably the easiest way to show you what it does is just simply to grab some of the shapes I have there. And I'm just going to zoom in on this so you can see what we have. We've just got some different size bolts. This is fairly high resolution. And they're all independent pieces there at the moment. So I'm just going to select them all, run the symmetrical-to macro that we have here. And my favorite choice out of the ones available is this one right here. So when I hit apply, I'm just going to go down to that one, and you can see what it's doing there behind the scenes very quickly. Just zoom in on that, and you can see that it's created a pattern there. The amount that it creates is based on the numbers that you enter in there. But it kind of made, well, kind of a random, not really random, but it's, a repeating pattern of that shape. If we were to go to another example of something similar, I'm just going to select all those shapes, increase this maybe to 4x4, hit apply, and let's zoom out and see what we have here. You can see how it's made something like that very quickly. Now if you're finding that the spacing on certain things isn't exactly what you want, you could simply hit, I'm just going to move this back here a little bit. If we look at what's going on here, maybe we want to adjust this a little bit. We could hit the undo button there and maybe move some pieces around a little bit. Something like that. Move this over there. Select all, run it again. And so the patterns change just a little bit there. So you can keep doing it until you're happy with the result of it. And another quick example here is we just got some beach related things. Select them all. Now there's other patterns you can try, but this particular one is one of my favorites if you're maybe to make your own customized gift wrapping paper, or somebody that's into scrapbooking or any of that type of stuff. You can see the potential of that. Another example is we've got some shoes here. These are all independent shapes that I've made. You can grab them all, hit apply, and again, let's copy them all, inside the document there, making a pattern. The size of that pattern can vary to be as many as you need for your purposes. So just to give you an idea, I'm just going to get rid of that control shape there. Hit all, Control G, put it to the middle of the document like that by pressing the P key. And so we've got a bunch of shoes there. I'm just going to convert that to a new bitmap. 200 dpi. I think that'll be fine for my needs. I'm going to keep the transparent background that's there on each of those shoes. So I think we had probably 100, maybe 100 or 200 different shoes there. And then I've got a quick macro here to put a shadow on all those at one time. There we go. I'm just going to zoom in there, move that shadow off, or offset it a little bit, something like that maybe. If we were to put a background behind this and give it a color, maybe like that. We could even get into doing some full color patterns here. If I press the G key, that opens up a variety of pattern options. I'm going to go to full color pattern, and it's showing up as a bunch of bunny rabbits there right now. But if we open this up and go to maybe a pattern more like this, I'm just dragging and the pattern there. If we convert this to a bitmap in its own right, I'm going to drop that down to maybe 100 dpi. Get rid of the transparency, we don't need that. And we could probably scale it down a little bit. We're working at this whole thing, I think, it's about 40 inches big here. Let me just see how big our thing is. If we have 40 inches square. So we could either scale the shoes up to fit that, just to kind of have a pattern there. Now that I've converted that to a bitmap, I'm going to just adjust the brightness, contrast, and intensity of that background piece there, so it looks more like what I want to see. Kind of a subtle pattern. You could put some bitmap effects on it, such as swirl, perhaps. Let's say I'm happy with that. It's going to take a moment to calculate an effect like that. Okay, and what if I wanted to add a color to the overall swirl? I'm just going to give it a purple shade on a background rectangle that's behind the scenes. So when I put the that layer, the swirl layer, into transparency mode, what I often do is choose uniform and then texturize. And let's see if this is what I want. There we go. Let's just zoom in there and see what we've got going on. So what's interesting about this technique that I often use is that now that I've done that, whenever I change the color of the background, the swirl will update automatically, so I can easily choose a I can easily recolor my background texture piece there to be whatever I want it to be. So you're kind of getting the idea of what I'm doing there. And again, you can always, refine the color of that, maybe be a little softer. And so once you have something that you like the way it looks, you can maybe select the whole thing, convert it all to a bitmap. So right now it's combining the shoes, the shadow on the shoes, and the other two background elements together. So the reason I do that is just to help ensure that this is going to be able to be output on any printer, whether it's a home printer or a commercial press. It's called flattening, and it's really a useful technique to help improve the reliability of outputting a piece of digital artwork. So I hope you enjoyed the quick tutorial there. One more final thing I'm going to show you is how to create a full color pattern fill from some of these ideas. And the reason that's useful is something that will become apparent in the next portion of this video. Alright, so we're in CorelDRAW X5 now, and they made some improvements with the full color pattern feature of the product. So what I mean by that is that if I was to make a quick shape here, just weld that all together. If I press the G key and you go to the property bar, choose full color pattern. CorelDRAW comes with some patterns built in, and we can look at a variety of different things. And if we zoom in on this just to see what's happening, and you select your shape, you can press the G key, and as you drag across the face of the object, it expands or scales the pattern inside to fit. Now, if you're to change the shape of this by grabbing a node and moving it, you can see how it automatically fills in properly behind the scenes. So that's kind of the idea behind full color pattern fills. Very useful for automatically extending a pattern to fill an area. So what I want to do with one of the shapes or collections of pieces that we were looking at earlier is we want to create our own full color pattern fill. And to do that, first of all, I want some of these to be shades of green, kind of like vines. So if I hit the tab key, I can go to different pieces there. Just pick some different colors of green. How about something like that? A little bit different, a little bit of variety there. I'm going to select them all, launch symmetrical, and go to this second from the top right. And what I want to do here, I'm just going to increase the numbers to something reasonable like that. Hit apply, and it's going to create, the pattern of shapes that we've already talked about. Okay. Now, press the button down here, which creates a full color pattern from what we've got going on here. So it's going to left click on that. Ask where do we want to save this. I'm going to call it vine.pat. It'll append that for you. And hit save as pattern. So now if I back away from this, if we go to a new document perhaps, again create a simple shape there, maybe make this a curve node like that. And let's see, get rid of it, just to give you a bit of variety so you can see what's going on here. Alright, so if we were to press this button down here, we can go ahead and choose that pattern. That's just you can see how it's filled it in there. Now again, if we press the G key here on this shape, we can scale that pattern however we like to do it, rotate it, and if we were again to change the size of this shape, it'll automatically accommodate, which is very good. You could even cut holes in it by combining it with other things going on there. And so, for example, what I might do is create a background piece like that, duplicate it by hitting the plus key on my numeric keypad. Go over here, grab that shape real quickly, and fill that in there. Close that down. Transparency menu, pick uniform. And so we're just doing a basic uniform transparency to blend that in with the green background there. But by choosing other things like some merge modes, suddenly you can get a wide variety of cool new things going on like that. Or difference, let's see what that's, see, it's pretty crazy stuff happening there. And if you're ever happy with what you're seeing, maybe I want to adjust the size of that pattern fill. And again, the fast way to get to that is by pressing G, and so you can control the scaling like that. You can play with skewing if you want. Generally, it'll just distort the thing though, which may or may not be desirable. Alright, so let's say I'm happy with the way that looks. Hit Control A to select both the top piece and the background there. Then you could go to Bitmaps, convert to Bitmap. We'll see if it converts to CMYK directly. I'm not sure if that'll do it quite right. Maybe in X5 it will though. Nope, didn't do the greatest job with that. But if we convert this to an RGB bitmap, I suspect that'll go okay for us. I'm just going to speed up the process by choosing a lower resolution. There we go. And then you could always convert it to CMYK from there, like that. So I changed it a little bit. But if you zoom in on it, it's kind of low resolution now because I just saved it as 150 dpi. But you can see the power there in using a tool such as Symmetrical to create your own patterns that look professional. And who knows, maybe you can even turn this into a bit of a business by finding a variety of things on the internet and creating full color patterns out of them, and then sharing them with your friends, selling them to people. Who knows? But it's a great tool to have, incredibly affordable, and it does things that are just not really practical any other way in CorelDRAW. Take care.